the physiological chakra neurobiological thing is having a straight back, right? Not being hunched over, not like kind of slumping, having a straight back, shoulders square, like standing tall in your power. Not just a funky, new agey metaphor, but the muscles in your back are engaged, your blood flow, your cerebral spinal fluid flow, your chi flow is good. And there is a thing neurobiologically, 2 power poses. Look it up if you're curious about the science. And when you stand up straight, you actually have a different pattern of hormonal activity in your endocrine system, which is pretty cool, right? Even if your pituitary gland needs work, this does something for you than this, which, phones and, eating, how many of us are like this versus like this? How many of us have the scapula muscles to actually do our phones like this so our neck can stay healthy and not develop forward head posture, which can give you headaches and a tight jaw and is not fun at all. I used to have chronic headaches and pains and knots all the time because I let myself be like this with my phone and my typing. And guess what? The brain's an organ. So if you want the brain to perform incredibly well for focus, energy, productivity, why would you restrict the blood flow by having tense and compressed muscles and vertebrae and nerves leading to the most important part of you, arguably, at least your physical body? Taking a breath. So maximizing health leads to maximizing energy. I have one more energetic principle, and that principle is if you are open to being affected by other people in terms of their energy, in terms of the space, you want to be in a setting where it will thrive you and nourish you. Say that you had to drink water no matter what. Say you had to walk 4 miles in the desert on a hot day and you hadn't eaten breakfast and you had a backpack. You would fill that backpack with only a certain number of water bottles or liquid bottles. Would they all be water? Would some have electrolytes? Would some have bone broth or plant-based protein broth? Think about that. Well, that's kind of what our days are like. No matter how many people you're around, you're interacting with a limited number of people. And if your system is open, until you master this stuff, I haven't mastered it 1,000%. To be honest, I feel like I have achieved a lot and mastered, or at least I'm proficient in a lot, but I don't claim 100%. It's a skill. We all grow, right? And so as you go through your day, maybe you interact with 40 people, right? Maybe 5 of those is a rich interaction, 10 is casual, and 25 are superficial, right? So in the superficial ones, maybe you can't avoid it. Angry barista, irritable coworker. But in those 10, like more casual, like, a few minutes here or there, 20 minutes, or those 5 deeper, maybe that's 20 minutes, maybe that's an hour or more, those are your primary relationships that you experience. So really be mindful of the energy you're taking in. And this might be really hard, but you might know it, so I'll say it out loud. If that means you have to decrease the amount of time you spend in a relationship with a certain person or type of person, if you do it, that will help you thrive more. That will build your energy. If you don't, it won't. And the more you're around that person, place, or thing, the more its energy will affect you until or unless you master your system. So if you can't get away from a certain type of person, guess what? You gave yourself the gift of a wound, of a stimulus, and your chosen response is not emotional reactivity, is not angry, complaining, excusey, merging, and victimhood. It is you got to get yourself together. You got to master this stuff to the degree necessary to choose your emotions and thrive productivity state, regardless of that person, place, or thing. If you master this, you can be beaten in prison and your spirit will be strong, right? Likely compared to being beaten in prison day after day, you have it better. So use that as your low bar base of comparison. And if you would do it in that setting, like maybe you have no choice, you go insane or give up and die, then in the life you have now, it's not that hard of a choice, not that hard of a challenge. Might take you 30 hours. If you do it, then you'll get there. If you don't, you won't, and life will stay the same. And the time's going to pass no matter what, so why not do the work? It's hard being fat, it's hard being thin. It's hard constantly investing in yourself to do the work to feel how you want to feel, but it's hard to feel crappy and even harder to know you're not doing something about it that you could. So if you'd like resources for that topic before I move on, please PM me. I'm happy to recommend books, videos, individual sessions, other practitioners, or even just do some voice notes supporting you for some free spot coaching or free spot mentoring, whatever you'd like to call it. in any topic of your choice. I'm here of service, so if money changes hands, great, helps me live and achieve my own goals and be of service more and build temples and a lot of really cool things. But if money doesn't change hands, I'm here of service, and I'm happy to invest some time just in you for your own well-being. So whoever you are, whatever you're going through. Thanks for the love. So moving on. Again, if you have questions about that or you want to reach out for a certain topic, please do so in a DM. The next topic is how to sharply define and strategize a complex goal, a dream, and achieve it in bite-sized, manageable chunks. So this is going to be fun. There's going to be about 70 to 85% left brain, and the rest will be right brain with this one. So the right brain part is at any part of these. It'll help you make a decision more quickly if you're in tune with your subconscious, and it'll save you the time. So a complex goal, which goal or how to go about it, you can always evaluate the data, but if you have a good intuition, you can know which goal or which decision or which data point more quickly, right? Or maybe you could map out the entire business model as I can channel business models at will. If people have business ideas, it's a cool ability. I don't know how good they are. I've heard they're good, but you can be the judge for your own business idea if you want. And how to achieve a big dream or big goal in bite-sized chunks. So this goes back to time management, which is a prerequisite, and you're about to find why. So from the Harvard Business Review Guide to Decision Making, there is a chapter called Manageable Trade-offs. And this chapter has an example, at least in the version of that book that I referenced, on choosing a job, something we all experience. So in choosing a job, the things that were factors is salary, how much you would like it, your commute, the quality of your office, the skills you build, and the network you build. 6 categories. I built a tool that has many more than 6, but just working with those 6, right? Or well, I'll just go use different numbers. If something is 5 hours of a drive away and you have to drive every day, that's obviously not for most of us. We would rather move, but if you don't want to move. So how much you enjoy the space, maybe you rate that in a level of importance as an 8, or maybe you rate it as a 2. Based on how important it is, it gets more points. So if it's very important and very present, you get a lot of points. If it's not important, no matter how present it is, that doesn't add to your equation. So this is a math way, and you can just DM me. I'll send you a spreadsheet of a tool. It's a Google spreadsheet that you can customize. So it's like if commute is an 8 out of 10 importance and salary is a 6 out of 10, if both are at a level of 10 in presence, you get 16 points, right? But if your commute is a 10, you get 10 points, and it's only at a level 8 of importance. That's why I really wish I could have it show up. I don't want to do too much mental math here for you because it could lose people, but essentially you can quantify the elements of the decision, right? How to achieve it in bite-sized chunks. So you think of the big thing you have to do, and you think, okay, this is huge. Do I even know how to do it? So the first step is learning how to do it, and I would give yourself 20 hours to learn how to do it. I'm not saying every skill, right? If you want to start a company that creates new technology and you've never started companies and you're not a scientist, you're going to need more than 20 hours of time to figure out how to do it. But just a basic path of something you could achieve in 1 year's time, or 6 months, or 2 years, or 5 years, whatever you feel that you could dedicate to, right? And you spend at least 20 hours making the plan of how long things take. Now on a napkin, on a brainstorm, you don't have to, but for knowing this is an accurate plan, your dream will succeed, you should spend that much time. Because if you can invest 20 hours a week into something, it's worth having, the first one, which is 2% of the project time of the entire year in planning, right? If not more than that. That's what one week's worth of, time at 20 hours a week would be for planning. So if you can invest 10 hours a week, do 2 weeks of planning. If you can invest 5 hours a week in your hobby or life goal, plan for a month. And time's going to pass no matter what. So whether it's 5 hours or 20 hours, do your best. Try to free up the time. If you need help figuring out how to free time, I'm happy to help you with that, right? So the things I mentioned previously can help you free up the time. So then all you do is say you're at 5 hours a week. We'll start low. For that first month you're planning, and then every month after that, you get 5 hours a week. And you have this big goal, this plan you confirmed, and you chunk all elements of the plan down into action items.